Hey everyone, John Ross here from testprepinsight.com, and today I'm going to be discussing 4 alternative options to getting your MBA. Now, let's face it, going back to business school is an enormous investment of both time and money, and for some, just plain might not make sense. So that's why I've pulled together a roster of 4 very affordable and practical education alternatives to help juice up your resume. So if you're ready, let's get down to business. Alright, welcome back. So a quick outline for this video. First, just to set the stage, I'm going to break down the numbers around the average cost of an MBA. Then I'm going to run through each of my 4 education alternatives in detail before finally circling back with a quick conclusion and wrap up. And if at any point during this video you feel like you need some more detail, make sure to check out that description below the video screen. I'll link a ton of helpful information and sources down there regarding the cost of an MBA, as well as links over to each of the 4 alternative education options that I'll be discussing here today. Alright, so let's kick this off by digging in and discussing the cost of an MBA. So the average MBA tuition for a 2-year program can total anywhere from around $50,000 up to $150,000 or more. This of course depends on the school or program, the format, meaning online versus in person, whether you're in-state versus out-of-state, etc. And as you might imagine with any degree program, the tuition is greater at more prestigious schools. For example, if you're targeting a Tier 1 university, the average cost of an MBA at one of the top 10 business schools in the US is over $130,000. Then, in addition to tuition, there are a bunch of other peripheral costs involved, like room and board, books, fees, supplies like computers and monitors, etc. Plus, the biggest secondary cost of them all, opportunity cost. To attend business school full-time, you're likely going to need to take 2 years away from work. And if you're making an average salary of, say, $65,000, which is right around the national average for those with a bachelor's degree, that's another $130,000. So in total, you very well could be looking at north of $250,000 all in to earn your MBA. $250,000 is a lot of money. Not to mention, you're giving away 2 years of your life to this educational journey. Now, to be fair, the data does prove out that over the course of your career, you will earn more with an MBA. About $800,000 more to be precise when looking at the career earnings of all MBA degree holders. But in any event, if the idea of dropping $250K or more today and spending 2 years of your life grinding away at the books makes you kinda sick, or at least gives you pause, let's get into my alternative education options. And just to provide some context here, I'll just start by saying that all of my alternatives for you are comprised of professional certifications and MicroMasters programs, all from prestigious schools and Ivy League universities. Let me explain. Every year that goes by, highly specialized professional certificates and micro-degree programs gain ground on traditional degrees, including the king of grad degrees, the MBA. Employers are starting to look more and more for this specialized training and certification within certain niches, and they give it real value on resumes, often finding it to be just as worthwhile as some full-fledged master's degrees. So with that in mind, let's kick it off with my first alternative, and that's the MIT MicroMasters program in finance. And for those of you out there wondering exactly what a MicroMasters program is, it's exactly what it sounds like, a condensed version of a full master's. In other words, it's a series of graduate-level business courses designed to evidence your deep learning and skills in a particular area and advance your career through proving you've taken the most essential MBA-level courses. And in terms of this MIT program specifically, it's a series of 5 foundational finance courses, which are all designed and carried out by MIT Sloan School of Management professors. So you know you're getting some of the best minds in the world teaching you these subjects. And just to be clear, this isn't just sitting in and auditing a few lectures. This is a real class experience. You get assignments at every class, and each course culminates with a virtual proctored exam that you need to pass to get credit for the course. And on the point of credits, not only do you get a degree certificate at the end of the course, but if you do feel so inclined to apply to MIT Sloan School of Management to get your full MBA after having taken this MicroMasters program, you get full credit for all the courses you complete, which is pretty cool in my mind. So it really is just like a micro version of the MIT MBA. And just to quickly sum this up, in terms of program length, this MicroMasters takes about 15 months to complete with the weekly commitment of 10 to 15 hours. So it's somewhat of a serious commitment overall, but definitely still manageable, allowing you to keep your current job and take classes in the evenings and study on the weekends. And perhaps the most important aspect of this program, cost. At just a shade over $2,000 for the full program tuition, this MIT MicroMasters costs less than a tenth of a full MBA. Okay, so that's the first alternative on my list, the MIT MicroMasters program in finance. Number 2 is the Professional Certificate in Strategic Management from the Wharton School of Business at UPenn. This is another online program built around a series of classes from an elite university, but is fundamentally different from the MIT program I just discussed. For one, rather than focusing primarily on finance, this program is grounded in management principles, mainly focusing on decision-making and strategy. And for 2, this is a self-paced program, as opposed to being a set study program with fixed class times like the MIT MicroMasters. In other words, it's totally self-driven. That said, the typical student takes about 5 months to complete this program, with just 2 to 4 hours dedicated each week to class time and studying. So overall, it's a much lighter commitment. And finally, this Wharton certificate program is sort of focused more on skill building than straight schoolwork. In other words, it's almost more like a workshop than traditional school classes and lectures. But the result is the same, with you getting a certificate at the end and being able to slap the Wharton name on your resume. And finally, just to round this out with cost, this program is very approachably priced at around $600. Alright, on to number 3 on our list, the University of Maryland MBA MicroMasters program. And this University of Maryland program is a lot like the MIT MicroMasters in a lot of ways. I mean, functionally, it's kind of the same, with a series of MBA level courses, each with regular classes, assigned homework, and final exams. And with the option to apply MicroMasters credits down the road to a full MBA. But where the MIT MicroMasters program focuses on finance alone, the Maryland program gives you a broader range of core MBA classes like marketing management, financial accounting, global business strategy, and corporate finance. And the University of Maryland program is more comprehensive, with 7 total classes to be completed to get your degree certificate. That said, despite there being 2 more classes, the expected graduation timeline is just 1 year, with an 8 to 10 hour per week commitment. This makes the online Maryland MicroMasters a very doable alternative for working professionals. And with respect to price, the MicroMasters is a little pricier at around $2,800. Obviously, that's still highly affordable relative to the cost of a full MBA, but it is steep among alternative options. Though I would just note that you can almost always get discounted tuition on this MicroMasters series with a code or link. In fact, you can just about always find deals on all 4 of the programs I'm talking about here today. So make sure to check out the description below. We'll do our best to round up those tuition discount links and codes to save you some cash if you decide to go this route. Okay, on to the last program on our list, and that's the Columbia University Professional Certificate in Corporate Finance. But before I get into the detail on that, I just wanted to quickly tell you about our Test Prep Insight monthly giveaway club. Every single month, we give away a $500 scholarship to one of our subscribers just to say thank you and help ease the financial burden of higher education. If you want your chance to win this $500 scholarship, it's really easy. There's just 3 simple steps you need to do. I'll toss those up on the screen right here, and I'll also have all the detail down below in the description. Like I said, it's super simple. It'll take you less than 30 seconds to enter, and you could win yourself $500, which could pay for a good chunk of any one of these alternatives that I'm talking about here today. All right, let's get back to Columbia University. And this is another rock-solid certification-based course that is highly affordable, while still giving you some serious name recognition on your resume. It's built around 3 courses of corporate finance fundamentals, cash flow analysis, and risk and return. And like the Wharton certificate program, it's self-paced, meaning you just study when you can. Nights, weekends, lunch breaks, whenever. That's one of the beautiful things about the format of these professional certificate courses. If you follow their suggested study schedule though, expect this program to take about 3 months with 3 to 4 hours of study time per week. Again, highly manageable. And one thing I really like about this program is that it's focused on very practical, useful skills that you can actually apply in your finance job. Running cash flow analysis, evaluating capital structures, it's all relevant material for those in the corporate finance world and uses real scenarios to convey the subject matter. And finally, I'll end with price once more. For this Columbia University certificate, we're talking around $675. One of the better bang for your buck values out there in terms of alternative MBA options. And that about wraps up this video. I think the bottom line here is that if you're considering getting an MBA, you need to look at your long-term goals and objectives. If you're trying to go to a top 10 B school so you can be an iBanker at Goldman or a consultant with McKinsey, then yes, getting a full-fledged MBA is probably worth it. The data shows it is over the long haul in terms of career earning potential. But if you're just thinking about going to your local university or a mid-tier school for the sake of getting a line on your resume to give your career a jumpstart, then these 4 options that I've covered here today may be a very practical and affordable alternative. You get the name recognition of a killer university listed on your resume, you learn valuable in-demand skills that recruiters are actually looking for, and perhaps most importantly, you do it all for a fraction of the cost. So again, if these alternatives sound like something that might be viable for you, make sure to check out the description for links over to each program for more information. And that's all I have for you today. I hope this video has been helpful and you learned a little something. If so, please make sure to return the favor by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and dropping us a quick comment below letting us know what you thought. And if you want to learn more about higher education, check out the rest of the videos on our YouTube channel. We have a ton of great content out there. Anyways, thanks for watching, best of luck, and we'll see you in the next one.